What's up, my people? It's Bradford Speaks. I wanted to kind of chime in on this whole deal going on down in Baton Rouge and in Minnesota. These two brothers getting snuffed out over foolishness. The last time I spoke about one of these issues and really been involved in activism out here in Los Angeles was when the Michael Brown murder happened. As we all know, that case was completely muffed up. They jacked around with evidence around that whole ordeal. There was a connection between the district attorney and the chief of police. I mean, it just was a mess, and nothing ever came out of it. This guy's family got no vindication over that whole ordeal whatsoever. Baton Rouge, about an hour drive away from where I grew up. Having grown up in an environment that was highly toxic, but seemingly we had some sort of a bubble around us. I had friends on both sides, white, black. There weren't many Asians or Hispanics where we grew up, mostly black and white. My friends would tease me because you fit right in with the white people, man. I'm like, yeah, I just treat them like they treat me, you know what I'm saying? And I've had my run-ins with the police as well. But just chiming in on this whole ordeal, having two sons myself, I've had to specifically give them direction on how to deal with authority, how to deal with what we call police in our society, and how to be respectful but not worshipful, if you will. Police aren't meant to be worshipped, and there's a lot of brainwashing that goes into making us perceive them in such a way that is not what is supposed to happen. Watching the video a few times, and honestly, I won't even say a few times, I think I watched it twice. I just couldn't watch what happened. I can't see any reason why you wouldn't be able to subdue a human being with anything other than brute force like that and violence. We've proven in America that violence only begets violence. Violence cannot beget peace. Can't do it. And it is not intended to. Our police are tools. They are being used to uphold an oppressive system that is put in place to keep us in place. That's essentially what it is. It is not to protect the public. That's kind of an offshoot of what their role is in society. Their job is to protect the property of the state, the rich, wealthy, and elite. The corporate state, I will say, because our government is not really separate from any corporation. It is actually a privately owned corporation. Country has been subverted. And I post about this stuff all the time, that most people just skip over it. People don't like it. And you know what? That's fine. All I can do is share what I have learned and the things that I've been awakened to, the things that my eyes have been open to. And if you like it and you're interested in it, maybe you look at it, you read it, and you just kind of move on. And that's fine too. I don't care what you do. But I have to speak the truth. That is not what police were designed to do. The form of authority was not set up for that reason. We've just been brainwashed and tricked into thinking that that is the reason for authority. And it's not. They're not to protect and serve us. Even the people that actually perform the jobs and the tasks think that that's what their reason is, that's what their purpose is in our societies. And it isn't. An article was written a few years ago, I want to say back in 2010, 2011 or something like that, about the FBI here in America having been infiltrated by the Ku Klux Klan. That doesn't surprise me. So should we be so naive and stupid and ignorant to think that if they infiltrated the FBI, that they probably have infiltrated the local police, the sheriff's department, the judges' positions in our city, states, counties, federal judges? It is not far-fetched to believe that's possibly true, and I totally believe that it's true. I've had conversations with friends of mine who I can talk about this stuff with about the fact that is very likely has happened and how that affects how they see the black male in the community. They've hated us since we've been here. And you can see it in the way that they interact with us. You can see it in the way that they handle. I mean, the way this cop rushed this guy and toppled him to the ground, I don't really understand why. I don't know what was said or what happened. But to treat another human being that way when the guy's just wondering what he did wrong. One other thing I'm going to touch on, I'm going to let you go. This is what happens when you have a part of society that is forced in a a school to pipeline type of a system, when you've taken opportunities out of their communities and out of their neighborhoods, and by menial crimes like being caught with a 20-cent bag of marijuana, and giving him 5 to 10 years in prison for that foolishness. When you do that, you create a society of people who are forced into the shadows and forced into the fringes of society. and now forced to try to find a way to feed their family. Many of these guys that get locked up come out and they have kids. They have girlfriends or wives that they're trying to survive with. They can't go out and get a corporate job because these corporations now do very heavy background checks. And if you have a felony on your record, even a misdemeanor, you are going to have a very difficult time getting a job within that company. Do you think that was not by design? When you've got tens, hundreds of thousands of black and Hispanic and brown people who've been locked up and now have felony and misdemeanor records that cannot be expunged, that are going to sit on their records for 25, 30 years, maybe the rest of their lives, how that forces them into a situation of survival. So the guy's out there selling CDs so that he can survive and feed his family. This is what you've created, America. Congratulations. You've created this police state, and there's something deeper brewing about this, and I can't quite put my finger on it. There's lots of rumors going on in the underworld of conspiracy theorists, as many call them, who are not conspiracy theorists at all. They're conspiracy truth finders. I'm a conspiracy believer. I know that there's a conspiracy that is going on that far fathoms anything that you can come up with. You can't see it. We live in a matrix, folks. You can't see it, you can't smell it, you can't touch it, you can't taste it. But it is there to enslave and entrap you. The police are there to uphold that oppressive system. It's sad. And I'm not saying that all police are bad. Some of you are going to look at this video and say, "Oh, you saying all police are bad?" That is not what I'm saying at all. But those of you who claim to be good police, and you jump around and you put on your badges every day and you put your blue uniforms on and you go to work and you say you're going out to do good for the community, you need to check yourself. Some things you do are good, and that's fine. But the underlying purpose for what your job is not what you have been led to think that it is. And that's all I have to say. Love you guys. Thanks for listening. Appreciate you tuning in. Freedom for all, sovereignty, and these things are slowly slipping away. And it's not just black people, white people. You can sit back and be complicit all you want, not say anything, not do anything about it. But your liberty and your freedom is also in jeopardy. And this is the trick that's being played on you, because you're being tricked to do this, to separate from us, to not say anything. And you're being tricked as they rewrite your constitutional laws as well. These trade agreements that they're putting into law that is siphoning your jobs, your wealth, your benefits, your retirement, your Social Security right away from you as well. We're all in this boat together. And either we're going to sink together or we're going to survive and swim together. It's your choice. Peace out, y'all. Later.